I have a question for you. Why is it so hard to stay close to people we disagree with, especially family members or close friends, or it could be church family, people who we are close to generally, when we have a disagreement, we get uncomfortable. This shows up most with people I love normally. My tendency is to pull away. I don't really like ignore them, but I slowly don't share my life with them and I kind of go into my cave. That's my style. What's your style when you meet people who you disagree with? You could be like me, like introverted, shy person maybe, but you could also completely argue and try to prove your point. My point is these are two different reactions, but it's with same tension because these relationship matters to us a lot. So that's so hard to find a way to love when we disagree with one another. So it made me think, does closeness require agreement? I was like wondering, is this even realistic expectation of others? Because sometimes I don't even agree with myself. Like I think about in the morning, I'm gonna do this chore, and this is my plan. And then at the end of the day, I'm too tired. So I disagree with myself. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it. So even with myself, I cannot agree. And in order to expect other people to agree with you with most of the things that are important to you, I just wonder if that's even realistic. So there's a story in the Bible where this person comes to Jesus very sincerely, wanting direction from him. And the conversation is very honest, respectful, and they have a really good connection. But they don't end up in agreement. They actually end up in an opposite direction. And although Jesus invited him to follow him, young man could not give up his wealth. So he chose the other way. What stands out to me isn't what Jesus says, but how he responds. First of all, he doesn't argue to convince him. After sharing all the things that Jesus had in mind, he listens, but he doesn't argue. Once the young man made his decision, Jesus doesn't argue with him. But most surprising part is Mark chapter 10:21. Jesus, looking at this young man, deeply loved him. It just shocked me. I'm like, if I disagree with someone, loving that person is the last thing on my mind, okay? If I'm honest with you, I am thinking about how hurt I am, or how can he or she not understand my position, or why can't he or she see my logic? If she's smart, she would know. All these like bogus stuff goes into my head, but love is not there. But how did Jesus remain in love even though they disagreed? Jesus loved him in the moment of disagreement. That really challenged me. So I was wondering, how did he do that? How did he not get offended by disagreeing with someone, although he spent some time with them and invested in his life? I think when Jesus woke up in the morning that day, he did not wake up seeking for someone to love him. Because many times I see myself, like when I wake up and I love someone, there is a string attached. Let me be honest with you, and I want you to be honest with me too. We say we love that person and we care for that person without any strings attached, but at the end of the day, yes, there is. For example, my son, long time ago when he was a teenager, he, was going through a very big angst of adolescent and being a teenager and all. And that particular day, I did a lot for him. I was giving him rides, helping with some stuff. But instead of thanking me, thank you, mom, for being such a wonderful mom, he just was very disrespectful, very grumpy, and just, being in his own angst world. And shockingly, something happened to me instantly when his behavior changed to that. I wanted to pull away my love from him. So that looked like I didn't yell at him, scream at him, swear at him, but I did not want to ask him if he ate lunch that day, or I did not want to check up on him and things like that. Very small things, but very subtle. And that day made me realize, although this mother love that I call, it looks noble and beautiful on the outside. Inside, I realized my love for my son was very conditional. When he did well, I loved him. But if he didn't do well, I found myself withdrawing my love. And that's completely opposite from how Jesus loved this young man. And I think the reason why I do that is because I'm so conditioned by this world to love with lack, right? But Jesus knew when he woke up that morning, I'm sure he knew who loved him. He had abundant supply of love. So whether other person disagreed with him, it didn't really impact his love because that love source wasn't influenced by other people's behaviors. I think that was the key factor that he was able to remain loving even in disagreement. He didn't need reassurance. He didn't need appreciation. He didn't need understanding. His love was not dependent on the other person's response. So when we come to a place of disagreeing something very important to us with people we love, I think remembering what Jesus did helps us. So this is what I do now. When I feel uncomfortable disagreeing with someone, I don't want to hang out with that person. First, I acknowledge my true heart. I say, God, I'm a little bit offended or hurt by this person's comment and disagreement. And I just bring those things honestly, God, and I ask him to supply that love for me. And I wait. I wait until he gives the love to me. And then once he does that, I try to solve the problem by either staying in that uncomfortable place, trying my best to listen to that person's angst or complaint, and doing my best not to get affected by it. And I just release to God. Say, God, you love this person and you love me. So would you stay in this place of disagreement and help my love to grow deeper in you in this difficult time? So if you are having some stress, trying to navigate how to love someone you disagree intensely, let me read this blessing prayer for you. May you experience love that does not require agreement to remain present. May you learn the freedom of telling the truth without withdrawing care. May God meet you in the places where disagreement feels unsafe and give you the steadiness to stay open without needing to control the outcome. May you know the love of Jesus, a love that looks at you and loves you, even when you are unsure, even when you walk away, even when the distance remains. And may that love become the place you stand, so you may remain present with others without fear. Amen. I pray that this could lift you up a little bit today. And until we meet again, blessings.